right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning. You should be out of your houses by now, heading off to work, heading off to school. But no matter where you are, Sunrise, we are there with you also. A pleasant morning to all of you. Thank you for choosing us as we always choose you. It's 7:36 here on Sunrise, and it's time for Law and Order JA. Now, the question that was sent in today reads as follows. My friend proposed that we go into business together. She's my best friend from primary school, and I have known her for over 25 years. She is business savvy and of good morals and character. I trust her completely, but all our conversations we have had about the business have been in person or over the phone. Do I need to put anything in writing about what we have agreed in our discussions? Well, to ventilate this issue, here with us this morning is partner at Nunes, Scholefield, DeLeon Company, Mr. Mark-Paul Cowan. He's our counsel for this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Lovely. So based on the question sent in this morning, seems like we're in the remit of contract law. So talk to us about, whether or not she needs to put things in writing, or can we just go on word of mouth?
Well, the law provides that you can make a contract orally once the essential ingredients are present. So offer, acceptance, exchange of value, what lawyers call consideration, and then an intention to create legal relations. But the truth of the matter is, it's not prudent to just go off of your oral conversations. Why? For a number of reasons. One, oral conversations are fluid, and persons have varied perceptions of what actually was discussed. So you want to put things in writing to ensure that the parties are on the same page, literally. Another reason is that we have imperfect memories as human beings. And so if you ask me, for example, what I had for lunch last week, Tuesday, I couldn't tell you. So it wouldn't be prudent to govern an important business relationship based on a discussion over the phone that you had 2 months ago or 2 years ago. Yes. It's going to be fraught with challenges.
Right. And if the matter should get to court, then it's going to be you versus me in terms of he said, she said, no, I didn't say. And that can also prove difficult because sometimes it comes down to believability.
Exactly.
And then we're going to have a problem.
Exactly. And as the saying goes, it's not what you know, but what you can prove.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, my first question that came to mind when I heard the scenario is that some people say, look here, don't go into business with your friends.
Our family.
Or your family. But one might suggest, no, go into business with your friends. You can go into business, but that is all the more reason for you to have things written down because of the nature of friendships. Certain things are taken for granted. So do you think...
Absolutely.
Do you advise against going into business with friends, or do you advise greater caution when going into business with friends?
That's more of a personal decision than really a legal decision, whether or not, who you choose as a business partner. Certainly you want somebody that's going to have integrity, somebody who is going to bring something to the table.
Yes.
If it's an important relationship that you don't want to compromise, maybe you shouldn't go into business. But at the end of the day, documenting things will help to preserve that relationship because that is how you safeguard against eventualities. That is how you provide for how disputes will be resolved when you take the time to actually document things.
So let me ask you, counsel. I'm not sure if the person who wrote us has a lawyer or intends to go to a lawyer. But let us say on two fronts. One, if they're going to an attorney, what kind of attorney should they go to get a contract done? And what are the pertinent ingredients in a contract? So even if, say, for example, they can't afford to go to a lawyer, but I have a paper and I'm going to write down what are some of the things that they need to make sure in the contract, and should it be signed?
All right, so I'll start first with whether or not you should get a lawyer. The name of the game is risk management. It is always ideal to consult a suitable professional to help you, guide you through the process. The lawyer is trained to identify issues, to help to navigate around those issues and to customize your agreement so that it actually suits your immediate needs and so that it can protect your long-term interests.
Right.
What should you have in the agreement? There are a number of things that you should consider. Time will not permit me to get into all of them, but certainly something that comes to mind would be, for example, capitalization and ownership.
Yeah.
How is the business supposed to be funded? Who is supposed to contribute what? Are you going to have consideration for non-monetary assets and contributions? So you're talking about equipment or even intellectual property rights. And then how is that going to be reflected on the books in terms of ownership?
Yes.
Is it a 50-50 thing that we're doing?
Or
Is it 60-40? What is the percentage splits between the partners? So that's something that you'd want to consider. A big ticket item is management and control.
Yes.
Who is going to have the day-to-day management? How are key decisions in the business? How are those decisions to be made? Is it that one person can make this decision? Do you need a unanimous resolution? So these are some of the things that you'd have to consider. Another thing is you go into business to make money. You want to also consider how are the owners going to take out money out of the company. So when is payment going to be made?
Yes.
How is it going to be made? What is your drawings policy if it's a partnership? What is your dividend policy if it's a company?
Right, right.
So these are things that you would have to consider.
And how issues should be resolved. You mentioned it earlier. Are we going to go to court first, or we do mediation?
Yes.
Or how do we resolve our
Certainly
issues?
should have provisions dealing with how you deal with disputes.
Yeah.
And dispute resolution mechanisms. How do you deal with deadlock between two partners?
Yes.
Because if it's just two of you going into business and both of you can agree, how are you going to resolve that? And so these are things that can be documented in a partnership agreement, or if it's a company that you're going to establish, you can have a shareholder agreement. Some people don't know that you can actually have a document called a shareholders agreement that is a private contract between the shareholders, separate and apart from the constituent documents of the company, such as the articles of association.
So don't just rush into business, be it friend, family, or stranger. It's important to write these things down because, guys, I'm telling you, it starts out all hunky-dory, Dennis, and everything is okay until it's not okay.
Absolutely.
And then people get very vindictive, and it's a lot of things that go down. And as counsel said, when it's in court, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So please put it in writing. But thank you.
Yes, if it's one thing that I would leave with the Sunrise viewers, put it into writing. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be a formal contract. Sometimes a WhatsApp message just simply saying, hey, we spoke. These are, I'm confirming what we spoke about and what we agreed. And that simple communication can save you tears, money, disappointment, frustration. And it can help to preserve the friendship that you have.
Amen.
Right, right.
Nice. Well said,
there
sir.
you go.
Thank you so much.
You preserve your friendship, you preserve your money, and you go forward as, you know, good partners. Put it in writing. Mark-Paul Cowan Partner at Nunes, Scholefield at DeLeon Company. Remember to keep those legal questions coming by sending them to our socials at CVM_television or at Sunrise CVM. It's now time for a short break. Sunrise is going to be right back. Stay with us.
Good.